The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio.
Q Radio.
Welcome to Pets Corner with me, Sharon Jennings. Coming up in today's show, we find out what kind of exercise the older dog needs, and can you ever teach a cat road safety?
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
Last week we looked at the exercise requirements of dogs of different breeds, and this week we're going to look specifically at exercise for older dogs. And joining me again is Maria Orr from IV Veterinary Services in Banbridge. You're very welcome again, Maria.
Thank you, Sharon. It's nice to be here.
Now, dogs as they age, Maria, they do need different requirements. So do you have to rethink the whole exercise when your dog does get into the elderly stage of life?
Senior dogs, they do require less. It's a bit like older people. You need to keep them active, but they are older, and so therefore they can have potentially some medical problems. For example, cardiac disease. A lot of them do develop arthritis, the same as people do. So if your animal is quite stiff, you don't want to be taking it for a 10-mile hike every day. I think shorter walks, because I know one of my dogs is pretty elderly now, and she can be quite stiff initially, and then she loosens up as she walks. And again, dogs with a heart problem perhaps, you're not wanting to take them for a long walk and put extra pressure on them. I think you have to be very aware of your own individual dog's requirements, and as they get older, keep taking them out, but be aware that there are these issues. And it might be a good idea to take them along to the vet to have them check it out, because if they're stiff, the animal can be put on an anti-inflammatory or some other medication to help them cope with that stiffness, to take the pain away so they are able to continue to exercise and enjoy their walks.
And also, Maria, for elderly dogs, in terms of seasons now that we're into winter, would you advise to have shorter walks? I mean, are they more prone to the cold?
In the cold, sometimes older dogs, they might benefit from putting a little coat on them, depending on what sort of a coat they have themselves, you know. And yeah, perhaps shorter walks, but more walks, you know, during the day. Just be aware of the weather conditions and what the dog can cope with.
Well, Maria Orr, as always, very, very good advice. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family.
Remember, Brandy Dog Food has teamed up with Stenaline to give away 50 return crossings to the UK for your car, dog and 4 passengers. Pick up special promotion packs of Brandy and enter at brandydogfood.com or on Facebook.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family.
Last week we talked with Dr. Sarah Millsop about bringing a kitten into the home and training advice. Now we're staying with cats this week, but it's a question from a listener, and Sarah joins me again. You're very welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sharon. It's good to speak to you again.
A listener has asked, is there any way that you can teach a cat road safety?
It's a really, really tricky one. And certainly what we're noticing now is that rescue centres who are allowing people to adopt cats and kittens to come into their homes, one of the things that they are really interested to see on their home visits is if you are near a busy road. And in fact, a lot of them will not rehome cats to places that do have busy roads. Road sense is really something that animals will learn by experience. There's not a huge amount of training that you can do in order to increase your cat's road sense. But there are certainly things that you can do to help them avoid being around the road at particularly dangerous times. And you can certainly avoid allowing them outside when you know that the road is going to be particularly busy. You can also teach your cat a really good recall in the same way as you would a dog, so that whenever they maybe are nearing a dangerous spot, then you'll be able to call them back. And it's as simple as saying their name. So my little baby kitten, I've been teaching him a recall. So I'll say, Len, and then he gets a lovely treat. I then will take a few steps away from him, call him again, Len, and whenever he comes over, he gets a treat. And you gradually increase the distance that they're able to do that over. So that means you have a little bit more control over them whenever they're out and about, because they know it's worth coming back to you because they're going to get a treat.
Fantastic tip, Sarah.
No problem at all. And one of the other things that you want to make sure whenever you are letting your cat outdoors, you need to make sure that your cat is neutered. Certainly there's a lot of evidence to suggest that entire animals, so that's males and females that have not been neutered or castrated, they roam further.
Sarah, absolutely fantastic advice as always. That's Dr. Sarah Millsop, Pet Behaviours. Thank you.
The Q Radio Pets Corner.
With Brandy Dog Food, because they're 100% family. You know you're giving them the best.
Q Radio. Q Radio.